I want to unmute you. How do I unmute you? Ah, participants, unmute. Hi, love. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
So good. We're up at our lake house.
Oh, that's great.
You're knitting. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm making a cow.
I love it. That's so good to have. I've been doing puzzles.
Yeah, I'm doing a puzzle in the basement so it doesn't bother anyone else because everything else is being used for school.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Marcia. Oh, and Pierre's here too. Marcia, how are you feeling? Hold on, I'm gonna unmute you, Marcia. Marcia, how are you feeling?
I'm good.
Yeah? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All clear. No symptoms?
No
Woo,
symptoms.
woo. Okay, good. How are your bosses doing?
She's recovered already, so
Okay, good.
yeah, she's fine. So.
Okay, good. Good. That's what we like to hear. We like to hear lots of stories about recovery.
Yeah.
To hear the scary stories. And I feel like we all need to be spreading the stories of recovery as much as the stories of the sad stories. So lots of recovery stories. Everybody who knows stories of people recovering, let's all share those. Because it helps with the fear.
I was speaking to my landlord yesterday, and he also had the virus. He's fine. He didn't have to be hospitalized. He's still coughing, but he said he didn't have the fever or anything, but he had the chills and coughing and all of that stuff. But he's also good. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to the day when we have the antigen test, because I think a lot of us are gonna, like, I ended up getting tested because I wanted to make sure I didn't have it, because I felt like if I had it, I wanted to tell people. Steve, here, I'm gonna unmute Steve. Steve is our featured guest today. But Steve, we're just catching up because we were talking about stories of recovery, people that have had the virus that are now recovered. And I think it's really important that we're sharing those stories because we're hearing the scary stories, which then, sparks fear, which then the fear is, who's the cutie behind you, Steve?
It's Mariah. So she's on another Zoom call. It's like a dance party.
See, these are my people, clearly. This is why we're friends. Transitive property. Any friend of yours, you're having a dance party. See, and this is why we're all friends. This is why.
Oh my God, so much party on this side of the house.
I love it, and this is why we're all friends. Mwah. I love it. Yeah, exactly. So dancing, sharing stories of recovery, hope. Because I think what's happening right now, we're hearing the scary stories, and it's spurring the fear, for people that are afraid of getting it and then not being okay, right? As opposed to, oh yeah, we don't want to get it. We all agree, prudence. We would prefer to not get it, and if we can avoid getting it, yes, let's avoid getting it. And if we happen to get it, we will be fine. And here's all the reasons why and all the things that we're going to do to make sure. And then some of us won't be, and that's just life. And that's okay too, because we're much bigger than just this body. Which is one of the reasons why I love Steve. And now we're going to talk. I'm going to pin you, Steve. So here, I'm going to mute everybody else. Everybody else is muted. I'm going to pin you, Steve, so I can see you as big as possible. Yeah. So Steve, it's funny. I don't know you that well. You're one of the people that I just randomly oh, I like this guy. And because you are a friend of a friend, and my friend Matt Palladino, no relation, was who said, you got to meet my friend Steve. You guys would really like each other. And so I kind of stalked you for a long time on social media, and was super impressed with everything that you share. Your level of wisdom is impressive. And so I finally got to meet you in person back in September, and you were just as awesome in person. And I reached out to you last week because one of my dear friends has corona and is having a tougher time. She has the COVID pneumonia, and so she's definitely having a harder time than hopefully most of us who get it. And she's doing fine. She's home. She's a fever still, and she has a cough, but she's her pulse ox is staying high enough. Mm-hmm. But I reached out to you because I know that you are someone who's really dialed in on supplements and dialed in on kind of East and West medicine, which I think is where we are all hopefully going, integrating the highest wisdom from all sources right? Like, and my thing is all about integration, whether it's, you know, mind, body, spirit, whether it's the different philosophies, religions, you know, mystical, love-based religions.
Hmm.
And so that's one of the things I love about you, is because you're doing it.
Mhm.
So tell
Yeah.
me where you are and what's going on.
Like physically where I'm at, I'm actually in Japan right
Uh-huh.
now, Osaka.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, physically here helping a friend do a book launch. He just wrote a book in Japan on biohacking, and he's doing these, there's like a book tour basically where we're doing seminars and speaking about health. And that's like the left brain logistical reason. The, we'll call it coincidental reason, is I completely have opted out being quarantined. And so I literally left like right before they started quarantine, basically most of America, just because while I respect people staying in their house and social distancing, I just don't think it's the long-term solution at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and maybe we can talk about, you know, what can people do to completely be fine.
Mm-hmm. I would love
And
that.
you,
I want to know, honestly, like, I want to know where your head is at on all this. I
sure.
respect your perspective. I respect your wisdom. So lay it on us.
Yeah. I mean, I was just on a call 2 days ago with a bunch of other healers who are really, let's just say, very on top of what really is happening with our human bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of them, Terry, who's like has published research, who's like well known in the naturopathic world. So this isn't like some girl that got like a certificate on how
What's
to
her
heal
last
people.
name?
Right? Cochran. I'll
Oh, I
send
know
it over.
Terry. Okay, Terry Cochran. So
Yeah.
5 second, because there are no coincidences.
Yeah.
I did a TV show in
Mhm.
Michigan,
Mhm.
Ask Dr. Nandy, and
Yep.
Terry was one of the guests. So
Oh,
I met Terry.
sure.
Terry is freaking awesome.
Yeah, she knows stuff.
Terry, so everybody who doesn't know Terry, Terry is someone who is now one of my go-to people whenever I'm like, I don't know. Because she's just dialed in. She, again, integrative. You know, behind the scenes, she will say that she uses intuition and uses, you know, like a medical medium. And that's, you know, in front of the curtain, we don't say that because it turns people off, and it kind of closes down some people who maybe we would have been able to help if they didn't, you know that that's kind of part of what we do.
Sure.
I'm pretty freaking honest now about, you know, how much I use intuition and meditation and
Yeah.
things that just come, and I don't shy
Yeah.
around. I don't shy away from it. But Terry, I think, is just freaking awesome. So of course you know Terry. I didn't know you know Terry,
Yeah.
but of course. Okay,
Yeah.
so you were talking to Terry. I jumped
Yeah.
out.
So we were on a private Zoom call for members of the Maverick Entrepreneur Group I belong to, and so she just joined, I think maybe a month ago. And so her, myself, another person, Logan, and we were doing a call just helping all the other members get answers as to, you know, how do we dance with this coronavirus. And so there's some interesting concepts people don't realize, like we live with tons of viruses and bacteria and fungi in us, right? And
You do.
ultimately, like everything in life, our outcome with the thing is dictated by our relationship with the thing, right? And so if you look at the language, it's like, how do we fight the virus? Well, I don't know. If you have a spouse and you really want to stay with the spouse, you're already being pre-framed for like, how do you fight better with the spouse, right? How do you win the fight? Well, maybe it's not even a fight at all. And so there's so much pre-framing that's happening and brainwashing from those that want to brainwash, and I'll leave it at that, that people don't realize. And so that's why I've been a little bit more vocal online recently, just because it's going a little too far. You know?
Yeah,
I feel
no,
like
I
it's
agree.
been happening our whole
fear
lives.
mongering and the us and the them and the war, right?
Yeah, a little too far. And so, and you know, in talking to Terry, basically her and I both shared a belief that we actually can have this symbiotic relationship as we do with so many things, and have it be actually fine, right? So now, while that sounds weird, you know, someone's watching or listening to this and they're saying, wait, how can you have a virus come into your body and actually have it be fine. Know that, and I just wrote about this earlier. If you get shingles, right, the language, the doctor's like, you have shingles or you got shingles. There's no such thing as you got, it's chickenpox.
Yeah.
Right. And so any virus that goes into you, it's in you basically forever.
Yeah.
And you didn't get shingles. Really what's happened is you've immunosuppressed your body so much that you now have a not favorable relationship with the original virus, and now it's expressing into symptoms.
Symptoms, yeah.
Right. And so
I love you. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, so that it's a whole different reality, right? And so if we bring it back to the coronavirus, and I have like firsthand experience. I was in Baltimore, like we actually had a kickoff meeting to build the app that's going to change the world right at the beginning of the coronavirus outbreak here. That was publicly known. And basically we spent 3 full days in Baltimore in a tiny conference room with our team brainstorming. 4 out of 7 of us got basically really sick. They probably got the coronavirus. So, but 3 of us had no symptoms whatsoever, right? And so, and just like I posted in the original ship where all this like broke out and spread, 18% of the people got the virus, but with no symptoms.
Right.
Right. And if you notice, like, why wouldn't the news, the researchers, and put forth all this effort to say, how did the 18% have no symptoms? Why don't we look at that? If you notice, there's no talks about it at all.
Right. Right.
And the reason is that doesn't sell the news. It doesn't sell anything.
Right.
And so there are ways for us to have a virus in us and have no symptoms whatsoever. And now that boils down to what we're here to talk about, right? How does that happen?
Yeah.
Right. So from a biological level, I mean, there's simple tests you can take to see currently how is your immune system functioning. Right? Just posted about that, like a simple test by SpectraCell. They give you a number, right, from 0 to 100. 100 would be the best, 0 would be the lowest. And they're looking at how well your immune system can respond to any kind of foreign things coming into your body, how quickly it can respond. It's a measure of basically how well your immune system is working.
Right.
And so just think, the media could be like, hey, let's everyone take this test. And if your test is below 75, these are the things that you can do to boost your immune system.
Can I ask you a question? Because I'm someone that has allergies at times. And this is actually the first time in a long time that I've had allergies. And allergies, my understanding, it's like an overactive immune system. So does this test, is it 100, is that you're in balance? Because because your immune system can be overactive or underactive, right?
Yeah, so they're looking at the speed in which it's reacting versus just purely the volume. And also
the accuracy.
So looking at like IgGs, whereas the like traditional allergies, like the histamine response. So it's a different pathway of immune response, basically. Right. And so so there's this interesting thing that's happening where people are not being told they have the power to have any power.
Have a healthy, exactly. We don't want, that's the thing, right? The people that don't want us to have the power don't want us to have the power. And so they won't do anything. When I say they, it's not some conspiracy theory. It's just there's people that are still in a scarcity mindset. They're vibrating at a lower vibration. And so they want to sell us stuff. And so they keep control. And so it's not like some big conspiracy. You can look around and see how all of industry, all of advertisement, it's always that you aren't good enough unless you buy this thing. You are not safe unless you buy this thing. And so what people like you and I are talking about is just notice when someone's saying that you don't have the power, that they have the power, and you need to give them money in order to then have access to the thing, but they still retain the power. Things that give the power back to the individual doesn't sell. That's like bad business.
Correct. Yeah. I literally 3 minutes before on this call, I did a response to someone, and the response was, if you notice, the 3 things that mass media is recommending is wash your hands, wear a mask, and social distancing, and that's it. If you look at what's the common message behind the 3, is it's completely just avoid. Right? It's like you have no power. It's just avoid it, right? Get it off your hands, your mouth, and social distance. Now, the masses who don't realize subconsciously what's happening is like, what do you mean? Those are great ideas. But what if they said, like, you can have your immune system so good, go and lick every doorknob and you'll be fine, right? And so that's my take on it is you can, actually, there's many times I don't wash my hands whatsoever because I don't have a fear of bacteria, right? If you can get your immune system to be so functioning so well, then it actually doesn't matter, right? And so now if the question is like, how do we do that? I mean, I just posted, it's a screenshot of identified research proven, and this is, Chinese herbal medicine, so it's herbal extracts, but some of it is American, like quercetin is American, but these are known things that with research proven that blocks the exact enzyme the virus uses to spread in your body, and some of them can block the actual receptor the enzyme uses to get into your body, right? And so this is like published, there's been 1,836 research articles on the virus since the beginnings in the last 3 months. And that's as of yesterday when I looked. It's probably more today. And so there's all this information that's coming about the virus purely from a biological perspective that one isn't being covered by the news. People still think it's this unknown. We don't know enough about it. No, we know a lot about it. It's mutating rapidly. There will be a seasonal coronavirus for the rest of our lives. This is not going to go away.
Can we just pause there for a second? Because it's so interesting, because people who I know and respect and trust are saying that yes, it is mutating rapidly. And there's all of this other reporting, I'll use the word reporting, where they're saying, oh, it's not mutating rapidly. It's not mutating rapidly. We've tracked it and it's not mutating rapidly. And I'm like, that's strange, because this is a really important thing, because if it's mutating rapidly, that means vaccines are not going to be very helpful, aka bad business, right? Bad business. Can't just sell you something and tell you that you're going to be fine now. And it's so interesting. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but I'm a science person, so I know enough to ask, okay, well, how fast is it mutating? And some people are saying, oh, it's not mutating fast at all. And then people like who I know and trust that I know are looking through research are saying that it is. And I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah. And we can look at that and actually see what's true. Yeah. If it's real research, if it's real. But that's the thing, like this goes back to the root of kind of everything in society. It's like, all right, what's fake news? What can we actually trust? What are our sources of information that we can actually trust? What are the research publications, the research methods, like, peer reviewed, like how can we really see what's really going on? And that's why we need people that are actually on the forefront, because I don't have time to go through all these research studies at all, but I would like to, because I care and I know enough to want real information.
Yeah, for sure. There is a lot of misinformation and fake information. And so I only read published medical research, and I also know 60% of published medical research is gamed. So in other words, 60% of published medical research, it's kind of like fake news. And so when it's not published medical research, whether it's a blog post or a YouTube video, it's even worse, right? And so this is just the information age that we live in. But however, when you start to see multiple research articles from multiple research teams, you start to get an idea of, okay, maybe there's something to this, right? And so it's absolutely mutating. And so this is not going to go away, right? And so the whole social distancing, like all the temporary stuff that's being done, that's like wrecking the economy. I mean, I paint this scenario. Imagine they do all this 6 months from now, someone sneezes in Times Square and coughs on everyone and like licks everyone. Well, guess what? Do we start this all over again?
Well, yeah, that's I think anyone who's intelligent, right, is asking this question, like, what are we doing about this? And this is just, we're going to live in social isolation for the rest of our lives. It's like, and okay, this year it's this coronavirus, but next year it could be a new one, and year, like this is just a fact of humanity on a planet, right? Like, I'm with you.
Sure. And there's always something. Every few years, there's always something. And so obviously the people who are in control, like the big enough corporations who can control mass media and messaging and things, I mean, they know they're doing this to slow it down enough, to scare people enough. So when the vaccine comes, people are going to want it. This is the best sales process ever, right? And so I just don't believe in a vaccine. And so my recommendation is to boost your immune system, which is what I've been posting. Right? And so again, there's absolutely known ways to do this, right? And so aside from the herbs that can block it, we have our innate immunity. And roughly 80% probably of our innate immunity comes from our gut health, right? And so in our gut health, we know 93% of Americans, your gut health is not working, right? Because when they tested a bunch of average Americans' blood, they found 93% of the people have Roundup in their blood. If you have Roundup glyphosate in your blood, your gut is not functioning normally. And so at 100% of everyone we've ever tested has Roundup. We haven't seen a blood work that doesn't have Roundup yet. And so from an actionable, I would highly recommend, especially in the next year, not eating any grains, right? Any grains at all. It's all contaminated, right? And so the only way I would
eating
eat
popcorn.
Yeah, all grains.
I have to stop
all
eating
Roundup.
popcorn. I love popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like my thing still. Okay, I'll stop eating popcorn.
minimize it at least, right? And so,
I can be happy without popcorn. It's just kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Popcorn and pistachios, kind of my thing.
Well, here's the thing so I'm a huge fan of root causes, right? And so if the root cause of a not fully functioning immune system, biologically is the Roundup, you can treat the symptoms of it by really, really supplementing with good probiotics.
Right.
Right. And so in other words, if you're doing something to damage it, then you got to do something to heal it. That's sort of the yin and yang. And so however, if you don't eat any grains and you're not like killing off the healthy bacteria and inflaming your gut, you don't need as many probiotics. Right. And so eat the popcorn and then take some really
with probiotics. Both start with peas. It's a funny thing with me. There's a lot of P words in my life, but popcorn and probiotics. Okay. I mean, I'm doing probiotics anyway. I mean, I've been very diligent during this time to really pay attention to the supplements that I'm having. Like quercetin is one of the things that I've made sure to add.
Yes, for sure. Very
so important. Probiotics, keep going.
And prebiotics, of course, right? So that's just healthy fiber, basically.
Yep.
But the biggest thing is avoiding the grains. That is like profound for health.
So the Roundup, but isn't Roundup also? Well, I guess the meat. If we eat meat that ate the grains, at least it goes through their system a little bit more.
Yeah, it's better.
But yeah, a little bit better. But yeah,
and so it would be too much to say like no grains and no meat. So that might be tough.
All of this is tough, and I think for all of us, that's why again having trusted resources, because this is all overwhelming. I mean, I'm someone who's super into biohacking and nutrition and effective minimum dose everything, and it's you could spend your whole life and just focus on gut health, gut health, and still not, and it's constantly evolving, and so having some actionable things. Okay, so safest number one recommendation, you'd say no grains because it'll lower the amount of Roundup in your system, and that's the fastest way to improve your gut health.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will say this, while I am going to give some actionables, I will say I'm a huge fan of the one thing. If you have to sum it up as just one thing, it's your state, right? And so it's this easy way is
love and peace.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
okay, great. Okay, I'm in. I do that.
If you just check in moment to moment, if you're in a state of ease or in a state of dis-ease, it's literally that simple. That trumps everything. It trumps which is why I started with this purely from a biological perspective, right? And so I'll get to the energy. And so because the biological is typically where people's minds are the most receptive because they're used to, tips and tricks and pills and all that stuff, right? Not everyone's open to, let me just shift your energy and get into
state of ease. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more. What's interesting is it's more profound, but yet it's the simplest, right? And so, but purely from a biological perspective, it's like, look at the thing I just posted, quercetin being one of them. I mean, the two easiest, the most easy to
I like lowest hanging fruit, like that lowest hanging fruit analogy.
Like probiotics, quercetin, and ECGC, which is green tea, basically, right? Drink lots of matcha tea. Those together biologically will be amazing for biological innate immunity improvement, right?
Mhm.
And I'm assuming people are already taking like good multivitamin and getting your vitamin D and sunshine. If not, then those things are also very helpful.
Mhm. And vitamin
Right?
D with K, right? That's what
Yes,
noted.
exactly. Exactly, right? And then from a, I'll say, we'll go to mind perspective.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before, right? I feel like the greatest mental practice is just seeing everything as just an opportunity, right? And so to me, even though people are dying, I mean, I do have a frame of reality that says death is not a bad thing. Like,
Me too. It's
we
like,
actually
well,
are.
good thing because it's all happening to all of us. So
Yeah,
if you're afraid of it, you're going to have a lot of problems.
yeah, right.
It's
If you
coming.
think about it,
It's coming.
yeah, one of the easiest ways to let go of the fear of the virus is to let go of the frame that death is a bad thing,
Yeah.
right? It's pretty simple, right? If you're like,
Mhm.
death is actually pretty awesome,
Yeah.
then okay, like there's nothing to fear about this whatsoever,
Mhm.
right? And so that's super high level. And then for lower level below that is, even if you are like, what do you mean, Steve? Death is not a bad thing. You're a little cuckoo. If that's the case, then at least look at it as it's just everything's an opportunity, right? And so if you think about it, how many Americans where they were living in zombie mode, which is you get up, you go through your routine, you get fatigued, you come home, you're kind of stressed, you watch TV to trance and zone out, and you go to sleep and you repeat. Now you can't live that zombie mode anymore.
Yeah. You'd be like, whoa, what the frick? Yeah.
Com-
Wake up.
completely awake now, right? And
Mhm.
so instead of I have this 8 things to do, I got to work 10 hours a day. It's like I actually don't have a job right now, right? I mean, I'm at home, right? And so, and I talked about like even the lockdown can be reframed, right? It's this amazing intimate opportunity to spend time with my family and to spend
Yeah.
attention with things I have never spent attention on.
Yeah.
And so just that quick reframe essentially gets us into the state of ease and out of the state of dis-ease.
Mhm.
Seeing obstacles as opportunities from a mindset, because ultimately our frequency, our resonant frequency of our body dictates everything.
Yep.
Right. So just being, and I'm just using words like ease, but I could also say coherence and resonance. They're just a little bit more esoteric words,
Yeah.
but it's saying the same thing. If you can
Yeah.
get in, your body is impenetrable. Like it's nothing will affect you basically.
Yeah.
It's when you're, in other words, when you're in harmony with earth and when you're in harmony with everything, there's no
There's no fight.
disease.
There's no, yeah. There's, yeah. Yeah, that's why that's why I like you. That's why I was like, oh, this guy is my guy, is because it's like, that, and you do such a great job articulating that which is, it just is.
Yeah. I mean, I think just a lot of it's like, I don't know, I just talk about this all day anyway, so just practice. And, and I think some actionables from that, I mean, I was talking to Terry about this, like even just looking at symbols of sacred geometry, looking at nature.
Those coloring books, when you can do like the sacred geometry coloring books with mandalas, do those.
Yeah, like I have, maybe I'll post it on Facebook. I have pictures of geometric shapes and patterns that's been drawn by a healer who downloaded this from spirits that actually activates healing, activates all kinds of stuff, right? And so we're not told that this is possible by mass media medicine because it empowers you so much, so where you don't need medicine, you don't need hospitals, right? And so and be aware of the whole, like, we don't want to burden the hospital system, so please stay home. The implied message is you suck, you need the hospitals and doctors because you can't do anything yourself, so please don't overburden them, right? And so there's some interesting implied subconscious messages with all the stuff that's been said. And so and so just from an energy perspective, obstacles as to opportunities. And then from an energy perspective, I mean, super simple things like I said, like looking at sacred geometry, looking at nature, obviously meditation. But ultimately, I actually believe one of the most powerful things that influences our energy, our vibration, are the words that we're speaking and thinking. Every word is a spell. That's what we spell words. We're casting spells. Another way to think of it is if we're living in a simulation, the words we're speaking and thinking is writing code. It's literally
it's like the Matrix. It's like,
we're definitely in the matrix. And
Yes.
so I've experienced this firsthand. We're in the matrix. And so just be very choosy, right, with the words that we're thinking and saying. Right? And so, and be aware that most mass media things that you're consuming, if you're consuming any, they are very strategically taking over your sovereignty of your energy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if this sounds like conspiracy theory stuff, and this is public information, in 1968, there was a patent was filed for a device that uses frequency to control your brain.
Yeah. So most of the people on here know Sage. And you've met Sage. We went to dinner. So you know Sage.
Good.
You know, I'll admit I was definitely like the Pollyanna one, because I would never try to manipulate someone else or control someone else's energy. And so if it's like, if you would never do it, it's hard to even imagine that someone else would. It's like, well, I would never lie. Why would someone else lie? I would never, like, you want to steal something from me? I am the easiest person in the world to steal something from, because I just leave all my stuff out. Like, if you really want it, like, apparently you need it, take it. It doesn't even occur to me that someone would do that. Hanging out with Sage for the last year and a half, there was a movie he made me watch about mind control. Then I don't remember what it was called, but long story short, hanging out with Sage has made me be much more aware of the systems in place to control people. Right. And I would like to say, I don't believe that all the people who do it are nefarious. A lot of them, I think, do it thinking that they know better, thinking that they're doing it to be of service and to help. So it's not like I think that everybody is like, you know, evil in the sense that they know of what they do. It's just that they're asleep and they think they know. And so you can see it once you wake up. You can start to see the systems that are doing this everywhere, like all the advertisements, everything. And again, I don't think people are evil. It's just, and I know you got to go, Steve, because you have your call. But this is great. And I will stay on with the group and share, because I'm going to share actually, and I'll send it to you too, Steve. A friend of mine recorded something called I Am Creation, and it's all words to say to yourself with kind of binaural beats in the background. And it's not the best cut of it, but everybody here also breathes with Sage, and it's breathing while you're using these mantras and talking about how you are not alone and you are love and hope and all the positive, empowering stuff. We all drink the Kool-Aid. We're with you.
Yeah, and I'll leave with this final thought, which is the people that are doing this, or if you're into the Avengers, they're basically like Thanos, who wants to kill half the universe, and because he's actually doing it in his mind to save the universe, right? And so it's not that they're evil; it's just I just don't agree with the way in which they're trying to do it.
It's just a lower level perspective, right? We feel we have a higher perspective on where we all can be fine. You don't need to kill half of everyone for everybody to be fine.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, I'll let you go, and I'll just stay on the group and chat, because you are amazing, and I hope we can do this again soon. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right, and guys, I'm going to stay on. If you guys want to talk a little, I will unmute you. Isn't Steve amazing? Hold on.
He's incredible. Yeah.
I mean, he is someone that the first time I heard him talk, I was like, oh, he can see things, like because he's all love. He's an amazing healer. Like, he helps people heal, and he sees from a very, very, very high integrated perspective, and it's liberating, and it's a breath of fresh air, and it's powerful. And every time I've only actually, that's only the second time I've actually gotten to like actually talk to him. But every time I get to, it's like, yes. And he's so grounded in the way he like can communicate it. It's not like kind of crazy conspiracy theory. He's just like, no, it is kind of how it is. And you can see it. But the whole thing about the vaccine, and I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not. I'm really grateful that we have the vaccines that we've had, and it's gotten us this far. And I ask good questions around vaccines. I don't just blindly trust. And this thing about the mutation rate of the virus is really, really important, because if it's mutating quickly, vaccines actually are not very effective. And then it's a question of, okay, well, how much does it help, and is it worth it? And I get the flu vaccine every year. I do, because I have kids, and I've done the research, and I feel like for me, my personal choice is that I choose to get a flu vaccine, and I'm not afraid of getting the flu. And I think that is kind of I kind of check in with my body, and I'm like, no, I'm cool. I could deal with whatever toxic weird stuff is in the vaccine. And I feel like for me, that's the right choice. But I feel like all of us need to be really aware of our own choices and decide what our body and our biology is saying that we need. Because like my cousin Allison, her mom, they never got a single vaccine. Like her mom was an anti-vaxxer, right? And my mom was a nurse, and they used to fight all the time about it. But I got every vaccine on schedule, and my cousin Allison didn't get a single one, and she's fine. It's okay. And do I believe that that's the right choice for everyone? No, because then we wouldn't have herd immunity and all these other things that I respect science and care. But it's always important we ask questions and we listen and we learn and make decisions for ourselves, I think. You guys have any thoughts about stuff Steve said?
Well, I practice sacred geometry, and I practice a system called biogeometry that was formulated from Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been, I use it for healing and for spiritual and for vitality. And I'm actually here at the obelisk in Central Park because I wanted the energy, the sacred geometry energy of the obelisk. So I thought it was very interesting. And,
you have beautiful cherry blossoms behind your head.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. And I actually am wearing a lot of sacred geometric shapes and forms. I wear them every day there. Let's see, they're like here.
And you have your gloves on, so and both. Yeah, and both.
The other thing is with the immunity, I really agree with Steve. And I've lived with an autoimmune condition for many years, for decades. So I was very much about learning, alternative remedies for boosting my immune system. So when the coronavirus hit, I was already there in terms of immune strength, because this is how I live my life. Nutrition, exercise, meditation, now breathing with sage. So I already had that ritual in place.
Yeah. You're
It's
awesome.
like you don't wait to lose weight. You don't wait to lose weight for your wedding day. You should keep your weight down for your whole life, rather than wait for a special occasion. And that's how I lived my life.
Yeah, it's like, don't wait to take care of your body until you suddenly wake up and be like, oh wait, I actually need this thing. I actually need this thing to work. Oh, I better start taking care of it because apparently I need it. Like, hello.
I mean, that's what brought me to HACKD also, because I wanted to develop more lean muscle and take care of my body. So rather than wait for a special occasion to do it, every day is special. We should be doing it every day.
I know, every day, every breath, every moment, every smile. It's just all so special and beautiful. And I get so cheesy and blissed out, but it's so true. We're so stinking lucky. I've never felt luckier. I love you guys. Yeah. So Steve is on Facebook. I don't know who. Are you guys on Facebook? Are we all Facebook friends? I know Susanna and I are. Marcia, are you on Facebook?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, we're friends? Okay, good. Hera, are you on Facebook?
I'm not sure. I think I invited you. I'm not sure if we are yet.
I would have accepted. I don't get on Facebook as much, but let's make sure we're friends. And what I'll do is I'll share this. I'm going to record it, and I'll share it on Facebook, and I'll tag you guys in it and tag Steve, so then you can all be connected. And I'll get that done by like bedtime tonight.
This was so great. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much,
Pam. I love you, ladies.
And also,
tell me.
Because I loved how he mentioned how you could boost your immune system, and the probiotic things. I'm hearing more and more about the gut health and things that I'm still not so familiar with, but I'm really interested in. So if you can mention, some like probiotics and for that.
Google the Mother Dirt.
Suggest
so Google Mother Dirt. Mother Dirt probiotics. There's like probiotic spray, probiotic that you put in your mouth. That company, I definitely believe in Mother Dirt. And then there's one, is it Pro Boost? So I made a list for my friend, and it was one that I had.
I
use
really
colostrum.
believe in what he's saying because I think there should be more exploration about people who are actually in contact and they had the virus, but they have no symptoms.
Yeah.
As you know, I was in touch with people who had the virus and I had no symptoms at all. I don't know if I had it or not, but because I've been taking so much care of what I eat in the past, like 2 years or so. So I feel confident even if I have it, you know.
And you're taking care of your state, your spirit.
Exactly.
You are someone who is in a state of, commitment to the state of ease. Not that we're not human and we don't like, well, I just lost my shit again. Like, hi, like, yes. And then we get back, it's part of the immune system is that we lose our shit and we get back, lose our shit, we get back. But the other probiotic is Primal Defense.
Primal Defense.
Yeah, so check out Primal Defense probiotics, and then the Mother Dirt spray, body spray, and in your mouth, and yeah, those are the two that I recommend.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Thank you.
I love you guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy the sunshine. Mwah. We'll talk soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye, Pam.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, everyone.